Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Loveth. If you're new here, you're welcome. You're returning, welcome back. So today we'll be discussing about how I managed to complete my practical training here in Finland as a nursing student without being kicked out in any way due to my inadequate language skills. I have had so many people have these challenges all the time. I have heard my friends, I've had people that I don't know about who got kicked out during the practical training because their Finnish language was poor and they terminated their practical trainings. So today, let's talk about my approach towards these practical trainings, what I did to make me succeed. I never got evicted from my practical training. So let's review my secret and hopefully it will help anybody out there who is looking forward to starting her practical training or starting even to study nursing in the first place. When I started my practical training, I know little to no Finnish. Like, I have barely been in Finland for like a year, and that 1 year I have been studying some other course, and I had just 2 months of training or when it comes to Finnish language. So I knew nothing. So if you are sitting down there thinking in your head, no, she must have known Finnish to have scared through, she must have had the skills. I didn't, guys. I keep telling people I didn't, and it feels like you are not saying the truth. I did not. I could barely say a sentence in Finnish language. My first practical training was a mess, like literally a mess, because I couldn't say anything. Then I knew Finnish languages in words, like I could say syö, or I could say just the words, but like bringing them together to make a sentence was almost impossible for me. So I was at that stage, like if anybody should have gotten kicked out, I should be number one. I have my grace, I wouldn't rule that out, but these things I'm going to share with you guys made it easier for people to deal with my inadequacy when it comes to Finnish language at the time. And for those of you who are watching this video and have no idea what we're talking about, we are talking about clinical practical trainings that is included in study program for nursing degrees here in Finland. Nursing degree has 210 credits and 90 credits out of the 210 credits is based on practical training. So it's like almost half of the study duration, 3.5 years, half of it is like practical training. So you should understand how important this concept is for nursing students or intending nursing students. So we wouldn't want to be stuck on practical training. I have had people who had stayed as a nursing student for 5 years because they cannot succeed to pass their practical trainings. Oh my goodness. Like, they have completed every theory, everything to be written, done their thesis, but are stuck with practical trainings. Finding the place is hard, but finding and being kicked out is even worse, guys. So please, take these things I'm going to share into account and get back here, tell me how it went, because I can assure you it's going to be positive for you, just like it was for me. Now, let's get into my secret tips for you guys. First and foremost, show them. What do I mean by that? You have limitations in saying the things that you have learned. Most of us did our study programs in English, and you guys are still going to do your study nursing programs in English. You have learned these skills in the language that you understand clearly, English language. So now that you're at your practical training, you don't have the Finnish skills to be able to say these things and people would believe that you know them, but you have your hands to show them that you actually learned something from school. So instead of telling how much you know, do and show how much you know. The thing about why, and most of the reason oftentimes why people end up canceling our practical trainings, is because expression is one of the ways to learn or to show that you have learned. So if they cannot figure out what is going on in your head, how much knowledge you have gotten, how well you are doing with your practical training, they are stuck too. It is not this easy to be an Ohia. I have been one, and I can tell you guys, it is not easy at all. So we cannot figure out how well you know without having to either hear you say it or see you do it. These are the only two ways. Secondly, stay away from your phone. Honestly, it is not a sign of somebody that is serious if all the time you are on your phone, or even most of the time on your phone, pressing, sending messages, smiling, just like being engaged with your phone. Be it at counselor where the nurses are, be it at break room, be it anywhere around. What I would advise you, if you don't have a child or don't have anybody that would probably depends on you, that would contact you while you're on practical training, I advise you to leave your phone in your bag, in the changing room, guys. Honestly, because I know the drive that we always have when we're with our phones, we just can't know what to do. You unconsciously picks up your phone and start scrolling without even knowing it. So for you to avoid that temptation, avoid your phone, lock it up in the locker, and after your practice you come for it. But if you have anybody that depends on you, that is probably somewhere else, you should have your phone in case you're contacted. My secret number 3 is try to start working or doing what you got to do independently without always having to wait for your ohia or your supervisor to come along with you. I have gotten basically in all my practices this evaluation point that she is a person that always starts to do things before even her supervisor starts. I literally have this evaluation in all my evaluation reports from all my supervisors. Why do I do that? It's intentional. I am telling my supervisor that even though I am meant to be with you all through this process, because it's a learning process for me, I can still show you that I have learned something in my 1 week of staying here, in my few days of staying with you, that I am picking up. So for instance, if you come to an osasto where they have like you know, like in the mornings they take Vitalit and the pine of Seuranta and whatever, and your ohio just gave you like an overview of what the day is going to look like, and some patients that you need to take their weight from, and some patients that you need to take the vital signs together. She is giving you those details not just for the sake of giving you a report. She is trying to get you to stand on your feet and do something, even though she's not saying it with her mouth. You can say to your ohia, mina menen ota vitalit kutosesta, from the patient in room 6. That's all the information, and she'll be like yo mevan, and you go independently, get the vitalit and have it saved. She comes in the next time when she's reviewing the report and she sees like you have written things that she needs to like quit. Vahavista, what is that? My Finnish has taken all my English words. What's the word again? I don't know what's happening to my word bank in English, especially when I have to compare it like literally in Finnish. This happens to me almost all the time these days. The more I speak Finnish, the more I am lacking words in English. Is Finnish still in my English? I don't understand. Anyways, back to the back to the topic. 4th, never take your supervisor as your buddy, as your friend, as your pali. Always remember, regardless of how friendly that person is, he or she is evaluating you. You can be talking out, laughing. I have had someone whom his supervisor was chilling with, like drinking coffee and literally chilling with work. But his practical training was cancelled. And he was wondering on earth, how is it possible that the guy he's been chilling with, like his supervisor, that he felt everything was going smoothly, cancelled his practical training? Like, se on mahdotonta. Mutta se tapahtui. Eli it's a different thing to have a friend, and it's a different thing for someone to be your examiner. You can't be chilling all the time and loosening up and forgetting your intention for being in this place in the first place, forgetting that you're being watched, forgetting that you're being evaluated at every step of the way. The way you even make your jokes should remind you in your brain that you're here for a test and to learn, of course. The 5th thing that I usually did was attending to other patients that calls for need, regardless of whether they are my OHIA's patient or some other nurse's patient. It is always good for you to show that you are willing to care, that you are willing, that you are ahkera. Ahkera is like somebody that is very, 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 you know the word, at least basically. Yes, you are very active and agile and hardworking. Like, the patient calls the number and you see like, oh, room number 2 patient is calling, and you're sitting down in the office. Run to room number 2, go there and ask, what can we help you with? And come back, do that. If it's something you could provide, you provide that straight away. If it's something that you can't, for instance, patients need some medications, which of course you don't have the license to give, you go back to the person. It could be to your OHIA, or it could be to the nurse that has that patient that day, and tell the nurse, look at what your patient is requesting for. She will be delighted for that thing that you did. And the thing that we don't know about is that when evaluating students' practical training, it's not just your OHIA's evaluation that is being considered. The whole OSASTO is being asked about how well you're doing, how they think about your practical trainings. Like in my OSASTO, we have had students and their OHIA coming to us that doesn't have any business with this student and asking, what do we think about this student? So if you have in any way taken care of my patient, I would say, oh yeah, she's a very hardworking person. Did you know she once took this other patient's vital signs without even me asking? That is what you need, guys. That is what you need. So remember always that your practical training is not only evaluated by your OHIA, it is the entire nurses that are in that department that takes your evaluation. And if the entire department doesn't agree that you are good with what you do, that you are willing to learn, that you are a very active person, that you are being considered as okay, your OHIA won't give you that okay button. So remember that. Include everyone, include every patient, and know that it is a temporary thing. You're not going to stay there for a long time. Once you get your paper signed, I always like wait for that approved, written down and signed, then I'll be like, hell yes, I did it. And finally, have a positive attitude. It's very important. Most of the time, especially for these long-lasting practical trainings, we are worn out in the middle of it. We are like so exhausted, we can't wait for it to finish. We start feeling bored, we start feeling like, oh my god, kill me right here. But all I am trying to say is that it's very important for you to keep that positive attitude, so that they see in your face and how you respond that you are so much happy and excited about the learning processes here, and everything is going well with you regards to this practical training. So be positive, don't be moody, don't be like worn out, and don't confide on some other nurses, because you might be thinking that this is like somebody I could confide in, that you're telling that person how tired you are, how your supervisor is not doing so great in the same OSASTO. Regardless of whether the person is your countryman or your country lady or your friend, don't do that, because that same person is going to tell your OHIA what you told her, and your OHIA is going to be mad with you. So guys, please, I always urge you, remember, it's a temporary thing. The idea is to get it done. That is the idea, to finalize it and say, okay, this is done and checked. Because all these things, this practical training, they're actually helping to prepare us. But the major preparation about becoming a nurse or working in the field comes after you have graduated. Everybody gets enough peregrinatus that you are going to kick off so well working as a nurse in any way you find yourself. So do these things, guys. Just follow these 7 things I mentioned here, and let me know what you think, honestly, about your feedback. My grace is an additional thing for me, but these things I'm telling you, these things I shared with you guys today are my PowerPoint. They are the things I did, and it worked for me. So I hope it works for you, and if you find something else that could work better, I want you to share it so that other students can take from it and do better in their practical trainings. I wish you the best of luck as you are about to study nursing for the first time, as you continue with your studies and your practical trainings. All the best all the way, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.